Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, amazing viewers. Today's reading, we'll be taking a look at your shadow self, and what is your shadow self hiding? What is it that's hidden there that might not be appearing to you in your subconscious, and how it might be holding you back or impacting you? So we have three options to choose from for the pick-a piles. Option number one, we have the Night Sun Tarot. Option number two, we have the OK Tarot. And option number three, we have the Tarot of the Divine. So I'll let you guys sit with this energy, and you can select from the timestamp that will be in the description box and in the pinned comment below, and it will take you directly to your pick. I will see you there. Hello, my gorgeous angels. Pile number one. You guys picked the Night Sun Tarot, and we are looking at your shadow self and what is hidden in your subconscious. So what is your shadow self maybe hiding, or what you're not aware of that might be impacting you, and something you're needing to know about that could be hindering your progress, or just something that is wanting to come forward here through spirit and make you aware of this shadow self. So we'll ask spirit for a clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number one in regards to their shadow self and what it is that they're needing to know. Spirit, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. And thank you so much, pile number one, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I am truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. I am so glad to be here today to do your reading. All right, so we'll pull one of these cards as well. The Keepers of the Light. Spirit, one card here for the energy for this reading. We got two. All right, we have Diana, focused intention. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. And we have Bridget with inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. So all about self-power. Okay. So we have the Tower at the bottom of the deck. Under that we have 6 Pentacles in reverse. And we have the Page of Cups. We have the 3 of Cups. We have the Emperor. We have 5 Pentacles. We have the Devil. And we have 9 Swords. And we have 3 Swords. Okay, your message is coming through. It's coming through quite clear here. So I'll get the signs. We have Aries, Capricorn. Okay, it doesn't have to be your predominant signs, but is coming through as the energy here. So I feel like your shadow self, and I mean, it would stand to reason because this is about yourself. This is more about your own internal confidence, I feel here, in allowing yourself to tap into your emotions. I feel as though you might second guess yourself here, okay? So your shadow self is showing you kind of not being very aware that any sort of discomfort you feel in regards to expressing emotions is stemming from a place of you feeling stuck to an unhealthy pattern. And so there's this anxiety in taking charge when it comes to either being first to express emotions or to take charge of your emotions or to act on your emotions, to be sort of authentic with how you're truly feeling. and that this is definitely stemming from a past pain here that you experienced. And so it's resulting in you not wanting to experience the same type of pain. So there is a situation here that has happened in the past. Now, past could certainly be a past life. We don't know when this trauma happened, but somewhere in your energy field, there was trauma to a part of you that went into the shadow. And so this part is stuck in the shadow here, and it's really tied to innocent emotions, expressing yourself here, allowing yourself to feel and tap into emotions and to connect with people here. I feel there's a lack of confidence in your own sort of ability to support your own emotions, that they are valid in some way. So I'm going to see what this tower is about. What is this tower here for, Spirit? Ten Wands in reverse. There's some sort of triggering that happens almost automatically here that shuts you down. So I feel like this triggering is caused by a past trauma, that when it requires you to have confidence in yourself, when it requires you to stand behind how you're feeling and connect with others here, I feel like you're holding back, and you feel like you cannot, or you feel like it's not possible for you to be able to do this. Let's see, why is this Emperor here, Spirit? You have the Two Wands. So again, the choice is yours. You have the power. You have the power to choose either to lean into how you're feeling and express yourself, or you can choose to hold back and shut down and stay in anxiety. So let's see, why is this Page of Cups here then, Spirit? We have the Seven Wands, and we have the Six Swords in reverse. So your shadow self is showing your decision when you're put in this position is to remain in the pain that has happened in the past, rather than choose a new option, which is doing something different than you would normally do when it comes to expressing your emotion. And I mean, this Page of Cups is a very sort of innocent emotion, okay, but it's the opening of the heart space, and it's our inner child. So I mean, the inner child is in there somewhere in the shadow, not being expressed. The inner child that wants to connect with others and have fun and enjoy others is kind of suppressed here because of a trauma. So let's see if we can yeah, lots of anxiety. I'm gonna pull a card here for the Devil. I mean, this is obviously, the whole spread here is showing how you're held back, but let's see, why is this Devil here? So we have Eight of Wands in reverse. So this is all about us sort of almost breaking free out of jail. Like, we could break out of this devil energy. We can detach ourselves from being held back and express ourselves. So I feel there's a block in expressing ourselves and making a choice here to do something different, which keeps us in a pattern of the past. And I feel like we perpetuate this pattern. And I don't know if you're wondering why you feel left out in the cold, or And I have a feeling you might say that you are opening your heart space, or expressing yourself potentially. But I don't know that your inner child is being expressed here. So we might not know what our true emotion is, or true, genuine, innocent emotion. And so we might be acting in a way thinking it's authentic, because again, the shadow doesn't know if it wouldn't be shadow, right? So first I want to see with this pain, I'm going to pull one on the Three of Swords, and then we're going to tap into what is this emotions, because I mean, that's such a vague sort of statement here. Three Swords, and we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So you didn't receive the love that you deserved. You didn't receive the care that you deserved or were supposed to get, potentially from your caregiver or an adult or a person in your life that was, in your mind, you were wanting to receive love from. Disappointed you, wasn't able to be there for you. I feel wasn't able to provide for you in potentially a practical way here, and it caused pain. So we're going to see this inner child, this Page of Cups. When we talk about emotions, Spirit, can we get a deeper layer for pile 1 in regards to the block in expressing emotions? What is that about? Can we dive into that Page of Cups and take a deeper look at the inner child? We have the Devil coming out again. And we have the Nine Swords coming out again. Anxiety right by the Devil. That's a pretty intense energy, you guys. We have Justice in reverse. Capricorn, Libra. Why is this Devil here? We have the Eight of Cups. And we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. Why is the Nine Swords here? Of Death in reverse, which is Scorpio energy. And finally, why is this Justice card in reverse here? We have Three Swords again, and we have the Hierophant in reverse. The Four of Wands, and we have the Six of Swords coming out again, and the Six of Cups in reverse. Six of Cups in reverse. So something from our childhood confirmed. Okay. This is our roots, where we come from. Person, place, thing of the past. Something that is, we can't move past from this experience. Okay. And we're needing to resolve the pains we've suffered in that experience. And so I do feel it was in a family structure. Okay. And I feel as though potentially you felt like your sort of beliefs, what it was that maybe you understood as self, was not supported, was not sort of reciprocated or appreciated. Some of you guys could have certainly come from a broken home, a divorced family, and there could be an energy here of the pain starting because we then sort of have our own thoughts and beliefs that might contradict the way we were brought up, and so we stay in some sort of in prison of how we think we need to be, because this is how we've been brought up in the home, and it's causing a lot of anxiety here for us. And so I feel like we might have still believed a certain part of how we were brought up is integrated into who we are. And this is a part that needs to shed, the part that we need to detach from, the part we need to move away from in order for us to connect to our authentic self. Because parts of these beliefs are no longer true for you. So a part of you knows that the belief is not true. The value, the tradition, the way you are meant to think of something, we're hanging on to it. And it's causing us pain and anxiety, but it is not accurate. And so we tucked it in the darkness of ourself, and maybe we don't even realize that it's sitting in there somewhere to be reviewed, but it's creating all sorts of imbalance in our life. And so we have the cups here, which is, again, the emotions that we talked about. So this is showing me with this 8 cups. 8 cups is all about walking away when we're emotionally not satisfied about something. So we could certainly, and see how these emotions are in the scales, okay, which is really different depiction from the 8 of cups. So they're kind of stagnant here in the scales, in the justice. Here's the scales, okay, and the balance. So I need to balance the emotions here. But I feel like because this is 8 of cups, I'm getting an energy of rather than being balanced in our emotions, we tend to pull away, we tend to run away, we tend to pull away, walk away, or detach. Or we might I'm getting fight, flight, or freeze, but I am getting, for a lot of you guys, you pull away or run away rather than stay to sit with your feelings, sit with them and understand them and find balance within them, find clarity within them. I feel like you feel you have no choice but to do what you always sort of do, which is, because this is a general reading, so whatever it is that you generally do when the feelings get, with the tower there, when there's a sudden need to dive into that inner child, we either run away instantaneously, shut down, but we certainly don't sit there with our feelings, balancing them out as we should. And we don't feel we have any other choice. And we don't sit there with each of the sort of emotions to ponder over. Okay, this is making me feel this way. This is making me feel that. We kind of, I feel, shut all of that out rather than sit and weigh all of those emotions that come through so that we can make a decision or we can be authentic in our expression. And so we have lots of anxiety around this. If things don't go the way I plan, or if things don't go the way I would consider smooth. So as soon as something sort of takes a turn or there's something unexpected, we don't know how to handle our feelings all of a sudden. And this, the shadow side sort of triggers this trauma response, that we experience from either a broken home or a belief that we as sovereign individuals have different than our upbringing, that we might still be maintaining in some way or believe that's a part of us. So pile number 1, I'm going to ask for some guidance here then for you. Okay, if you resonate with this, Spirit, can we please get some guidance for beautiful pile number 1? Now we know, think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. I feel here you might straight away sort of think the worst and think like you have no say in the matter or no control over your emotions, and that someone else is going to maybe dictate how you're supposed to feel or what's supposed to happen to you. But this inner strength is moved back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. Okay, you have the power. And we saw the Emperor, which is you gaining control and being empowered to say, this is how I'm feeling. This doesn't work for me. Or yes, this works, or whatever, you have to stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself. Surrender your ego. Cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. So, ego doesn't necessarily mean we have all this confidence and we're thinking we're better than anyone else. This ego is shadow self, and the shadow self, it can be a lack of confidence where our mind and our ego tells us from childhood that we're not able to have our own feelings, that every time we express ourselves from a place of emotions, we maybe got shot down, or we maybe didn't get back to us reassurance or acknowledgement. So now our ego is getting in the way here, and so when the anxiety kicks in, which is the mind, the ego, it starts to tell you that you might not be capable of expressing yourself, or you might not be ready to share your emotions, or you only have one sort of choice here. So I feel like your mind is really getting in the way of you being able to authentically feel. So I think the ask here is to, when this happens, if a tower happens, because I feel like this happens when there's something unexpected that makes you tap into your feelings, I feel like there's a need for you to stop and ask yourself, what am I thinking exactly right now when this happens? Like, what is the thought that's running through my mind? And is this an accurate thought, or is this a program that I've been made to believe that I know isn't true? Okay, because I feel the program ego is running you at that moment. Surrender defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear non-defensive response. So we could go into trigger mode where we just start defending ourselves, and so we don't allow ourselves to sit in the emotions in a balanced way. So again, what is it exactly that comes out in our mind? What is it exactly that we tell ourselves or tell others when we're in that energy? Surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen. Then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. So we might remember what we felt like, pain in the past, when we weren't reciprocated what we needed, what we absolutely needed in order for us to feel validated with our emotions. And so I feel now we might have an ideal expectation or understanding of what something should feel like, and the minute it deviates with that tower, things start to fall apart. We start to have a lot of anxiety because we're really attached to the result. And so if this makes me feel in a certain way where I feel like maybe I won't have control of my emotions, then I start to sabotage in my action, rather than just knowing that if I act for my highest good and if I'm in line with my emotions, that the best possible outcome could result. But I feel there's a defensiveness here as soon as things start to deviate slightly, because we have one idea in our mind of how something should pan out. And I think this is what triggers this trauma response from the shadow. So let's put it in practical terms. Let's say, I'm planning a date, and in my mind I have an idea, or I'm going to the movies with my date, it's going to go this way, it's going to go that way, and it's going to be great, it's going to be fun. And and suddenly the friend calls, and I don't know, the friend says, hey, like, I'm not going to be able to make it today because whatever their excuse is, and you feel sort of like the excuse maybe wasn't valid enough for you to, you know, think it was a valid excuse. And so it may trigger this response. Now, this is just like an analogy here of this automatic sort of, you know, like pulling away your energy here and saying, okay, fine, that's fine. But not knowing we have other options here to consider, you know, to consider and balance these emotions out, saying, okay, if my friend, you know, cannot go to this movie, there's many other reasons here that potentially could have made more sense, and maybe this person is authentic, maybe this person is lying, maybe whatever the reason may be, it still shouldn't dictate my true feelings, which is I truly still wanted to go to a movie with this person, right? So we can express to this person, like, I feel as though, I don't know, you ditched me or whatever it was that had happened here, and I feel as though I wanted to, you know, go watch a movie with you, and if you still do, you know, you say you still do, but, and it hurts me when you said this, and, you know, I'm not sure if you were just trying to make an excuse to pull out, or if that was the truth, and so it made me feel hurt, because I've been abandoned many times, you know, in childhood here, and so it triggers something within me. And so I'm sure, you know, you had something else you needed to deal with here, and maybe I gotta work on trusting. But I felt as though I was abandoned or let down, or you had chose something else other than me, and so now I need to kind of sit with my emotions because I feel hurt by this. So if we cannot express ourselves in that way, another choice could be us sitting here, you know, with our emotions, having that conversation with ourselves. But I feel as though we react to the same sort of decision making, which is pretty knee-jerk, maybe running away, maybe cutting off this date, you know, I don't know, whatever your thing is here, because for all of you guys, is some knee-jerk reaction that you're used to doing, you know, and I know that analogy was probably not the best, but I mean, all of our triggers could be stemmed from the smallest little thing, right? So this could be a big trigger for someone, you know, if they have abandonment wounds and they had big expectations and big hopes of whatever. Let's say it's a vacation, you know, and they had this big sort of plan for this vacation, and all of a sudden, you know, like if someone can't make it, the other person feels abandoned and let down, and they're letting their ego sort of run the show here. That the reason the other person couldn't make it has nothing to do with this person's, whether they're worthy or valuable enough. So I feel like there's something of taking something personal if something doesn't go exactly as the ego had intended. And so we start to get defensive and cause pain, okay? So this is what I have, pile number 1. So the advice is surrender your ego, surrender defensiveness, and surrender your attachment to results. Okay, and move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. Think about what you desire and set your sights high, but expect the best outcome. Now, this is interesting because we have attachments to results, and here we have expect the possible outcome. Surrender your attachments to results. So I feel like this is exactly what I was talking about. It's like we have an understanding of exactly what it is that aligns with what's going to make us feel okay to the ego. And the minute it deviates, even though it has nothing to really do with the value that you hold, or nothing to do with anything other than potentially a circumstance or situation that didn't quite align for whatever reason, we start to get triggered in this trauma response. Okay, so I think you need to pay attention however many times in a day that you know, it's good to have sort of a hope of something, but how much are you attaching your expectation to that outcome? How much is your ego saying this better turn this way or that better go that way? Otherwise, when we have a story, we attach to it. Because I think with the advice coming out here and this kind of coming out with your trauma is that you have this expectation of something here that sort of either reinforces or like reinforces your belief. And so then you say, see, I told you I'm not worthy. See, I told you I can't, you know, find a balance sort of give and take here when it comes to my emotions. See, I told you like this was going to happen. You know, you're kind of proving your ego right. But if we detach from that mind story, that narrative, there is nothing to be disappointed about. So we're setting up that trigger because the ego, it stores the shadow parts of us as a defense mechanism to keep us safe. So the more intense you feel about being disappointed, the more your ego says, oh, okay, pile one really, really, really doesn't like when this happens. So I really now have to bring it to their attention. Even in the slightest little bit, I have to flag pile one every time there's a sort of an energy around them that might, you know, be threatening in this way of what they experienced, because last time they felt so intense, and the universe doesn't know, you know, you feel intense happy, you feel intense sad. They just know that you are putting energy towards this feeling. And so the more you fuel whatever energy it is, the more the universe gives you more of that. So I feel like there's this cyclical thing of, you know, you sort of expecting to see it and already knowing the worst is sort of going to happen, or this is going to come out in every situation eventually, and kind of making it be by fueling it. And so then the universe gives you more and more of that. So you have the control and the power. Okay, pile number one. I hope this helped you guys. I love you very much. I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous angels. Pile number two, you guys picked the OK Tarot, and we're looking at your shadow self and what is sort of hidden in your subconscious. What is your shadow self hiding that might be hindering you, that you might not be aware of, and that Spirit wants to bring to your attention. So we'll ask Spirit for a clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number two in regards to their shadow self in their subconscious. What is hidden there that is needing to be brought out and addressed for pile number two? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile two. And thank you so much, pile two, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. Now, because this is shadow self, we could certainly think the pile is not for us. You know, we might not know that the pile is for us because it's not called shadow self for a reason. Like, in the shadows, we don't know what our shadow side is. You know, it's very much the programming, the autopilot. But let's see if we can connect with some of the trauma to see, you know, what's resulting as a result of the shadow self coming out. So we have the Death in reverse, which is Scorpio energy. And we have Page of Pentacles. And we have the Sun in reverse, Leo energy. We have the Six of Wands in reverse. And we have Two Swords in reverse. And we have the Devil in reverse, Capricorn energy. And we have the Star. And I don't read bottom of the deck reverse. So the Aquarius energy. And under that we have 9 Pentacles. Interesting how the Devil came out for pile 1 as well. And we are talking about the shadow self, which is the shadow trait of the Devil, is certainly the shadow self. So your energy is coming through quite strong as well. I feel like there's a challenge in your belief of accomplishing something, like for yourself. Like there's a part of you, I feel here in the shadow, that automatically sort of makes a decision that you either won't succeed at something, and then you sort of just ride on that and believe that, even though you might have no proof of that. And this could stem from you sort of not seeing how you could make something happen. And I'm not talking about something specific. I'm just talking about in general. You know, and this could repeat in certain ways in your life. It's like how we engage with things, because we're in a relationship with everything. So it's like, let's say, you know, job postings go up. And so the way we normally deal with that, you know, going after what we want, is the same way here. It's like, yeah, I won't even sort of try or consider doing this at all, because I probably won't get it, because I don't see how that's the thing. So I just don't even try. Although, beyond that, if you were to go a step deeper, and if you were to ask yourself if you felt you could get it, would you have applied? And your answer would be yes, because I feel you give up on things that actually do mean something to you, that could matter to you, and that you could actually attain. But the belief here is that because I don't see the value in myself or how I could do this thing and be successful, I don't even sort of put myself in that situation, because, I mean, for one, most people have a very hard time with rejection. So this could certainly be we don't want to be rejected, or we don't have confidence in self to believe that we could make it happen. But I believe we tell ourselves that we're not capable of it for whatever reason. So there could be many excuses, you know, I'm not qualified enough, or I don't see how that could happen, or there's many other things here that happen. But I feel like there's a deeper thing happening here in the shadow that's preventing you from attaining more for yourself, striving more for yourself. And when these situations arise, going after everything that you connect to and want, despite whether you feel on the surface if you're capable of attaining it or not. So it's like, unless I know for sure that I could be 100% successful at something or achieve something, I won't engage or follow it, even if it's something that I feel speaks to me, or that it would be nice for me to have, or that I would desire. You know, I just automatically sort of write myself off. So let's take a deeper look here and see where's this sort of stemming from. Spirits, for pile number 2 in this shadow self, can we get a deeper layer as to, well, what is this triggering about for pile number 2, and give us a deeper look at this subconscious sort of reaction that they're having and not believing in themselves. 2 Pentacles in reverse. And it's funny because when it's in the shadow, we might be the type of people that think, well, I do believe in myself because everything I want, I go after. And it's like, subconsciously, there might be things that we don't go after. And so we might say, yeah, well, I never went after that thing because, you know, the cons outweighed the pros. But I feel like the truth of the matter is that there's more going on there with those things, you know. I feel like you could probably be someone here who might think you're quite confident at going after what you want. But I feel like that is the problem. It's like I feel there's an energy here of, unless you're like super confident about it, you're just like, yeah, no, I'm just not. And that's like your confidence coming through, showing up as something here that's running the show in some way, you know. But it's actually the opposite here, you know. It's the opposite here. It's like when we don't know if we get something, but we have confidence in ourselves and saying, you know what, I don't know that I would get it, but I'm deserving of it and I want this. And I'm definitely going to try my best. And if I fail this, then it's also a win, because there is no failing. There's just lessons learned. Okay, there's no failing in the universe. There's just learning. Okay, so let's see. We have hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. So again, with the thoughts. Okay, and this is the back and forth. And we saw 2 swords in reverse, and we see now 2 pentacles in reverse. So it's like we don't even put ourselves in the running. We don't even consider it. We don't even give the choice to it. So where are our thoughts when we kind of make that decision to not throw our name in the hat or to not go after it? It's initial stage, I feel here. There's an initial energy that pops in, which is very reactionary. Obviously, this is the subconscious. That's how it kicks on. You know, and it's almost like a split decision in that moment. So it's not like we've been humming and hawing about applying for a position, and I'm just using that as an example, but you can extrapolate this into many scenarios. It's like the minute we see something we wanted, like the job posting, we just automatically just, nah, because, you know, whatever the excuse may be, instead of actually really sort of sitting with that thought. If we feel like it would push us and it would put us at risk of being rejected in any sort of way. You know, I'm not saying like going after everything that we don't want. I'm talking about us knowing, you know, us kind of in our heart knowing, hey, it'd be really good if I could get into the accounting in that department, you know, like, and carrying this thought. And then the minute there's a posting, yeah, well, no, it's because they needed something for Wednesday, and, you know, it's not really what I wanted, or like something I was prepared to do. And so we write it off instead of, yeah, I'm repeating myself, but I don't know how else to word this energy that I'm feeling. So we have green Tara with supreme protection. You're protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. So the limitation, I think, is, of course, your own. Okay, so here's the expansion with 3 wands. And it's almost like you feel like, if I didn't do the work that prepares me for this, I can't get on that ship. And I think that's a belief that you carry, because maybe someone's taught you have to do a lot of hard work to deserve something. But our whole life experiences, plus our past life experiences, gear us up towards taking chances on new experiences. So sometimes you're absolutely ready to get on that ship for expansion. So why don't we get on the ship for expansion? Either we're too afraid to expand, too comfortable where we're at, afraid of the rejection, or have a belief that we have to do all, cross the T's and dot the I's before we could get on the ship, because our subconscious is stuck in some scenario narrative that was told to us. But for whatever reason, we repeat something here where we limit ourselves from possibility of advancement. You know, and when I say advancement, this is in any area of your life. You could find advancement. 10 swords in reverse. I'm not surprised to see 8 swords. Okay, and the 8 swords is in reverse as well. So it's like 8 swords is all about the limitation in our mind. You know, what someone else told us, or what we heard, or what we started to believe about ourselves, that is a construct of the mind that doesn't exist, that keeps us stuck unable to have expansion in our life because we believe the limitation. And so it prevents us from attaining what we want. But I feel here it might be attached to a closing out of something here. So I'm going to have to get some more on 10 swords, but this is like, but I can't fully let go of the other thing, or I can't learn how to close something out here. So 2 cups, that's the balance, reciprocity. Okay, we got 2 pentacles, we saw 2 swords, now we're seeing 2 cups. Only thing we don't see here is the 2 wands yet. And how I was taught to read cards is like the absence of the card that's missing sometimes is the message, which is wands is all about our passion and following our pursuit and our desires. Okay, so I feel like we might be very practical in making decisions. You know, again, I was getting that with the 3 wands, and again, you got to know which resonates for you, but it's like cross your T's, dot your I's, everything kind of needs to be lined up. Oh, I needed all these things in place. And if all the things were in place and everything made sort of sense, then you would go after it. Okay, that's why you'd probably say, well, I am confident, but this and that and this and the other weren't lined up. So the practical response, okay, and we know people who actually have a lot of growth take risk and go after their passions, okay, but it's risk that they know their passion overrides. So the 2 cups is, if I felt for sure emotionally that the other side was going to give me exactly emotionally the response I needed, I felt like I really wanted that sort of job, and this person said, you'd be the perfect fit for this, so we're going to give it to you if you apply. Then you're like, okay, cool. Equal. Okay. But again, safe zone. And then with the 2 swords in reverse, I feel like that's an indecision. It's like, but we don't even contemplate or sit there because it's like we just write it off right away. So, Knight of Swords. This is in reverse. So this is like not confronting what might be fearful, because the Knight of Swords confronts everything with honest truths, despite maybe fearing going into battle. I feel like there's a fear of going into battle and losing out is what I feel. And then what? If I don't get it, if I don't succeed, then what? And so this becomes, we might feel like we'd be devastated, like it's the end of our world in some way, or the end of this thing. And so I feel like you think you'd be 10 swords, but the universe is expressing this message to you because I feel like there is no loss. There is only lesson learned. And you advance from this. You do make growth. This is progress. But I feel like you're connecting a not getting, or a connecting if you were to try and be rejected or fail or not succeed in that thing, that it would be a devastating sort of experience. So you don't bother. Justice in reverse. Libra energy. So again, the 2 coming through. Okay, we're getting the 2s all over the place, and 2 is all about balance. It's about choices. It is about duality. So with justice, I feel like we're not being fair to ourselves by just repeating a narrative from our shadow ego self, subconscious self, that says we can't do it for whatever reason, is a made-up story in our mind that keeps us stuck from really having the growth in life and attaining our 9 pentacles, 9 cups. Okay, so we saw the 9 pentacles under the deck, or under the card underneath that, under the last card of the deck. And now we're seeing the 9 cups, which is all about emotional fulfillment. So ask yourself, pile number 2, am I emotionally fulfilled? And am I, standing in my full sort of power here, and my confidence in what it is that I'm doing? And if I am, great. And so when something comes up that is speaking to me and my passions, would it make me feel emotionally happy? And would it make me feel successful if I were able to accomplish what it is in my mind that I feel I would want? And if the answer is yes, then I think what Spirit is showing here is go after it. Everything else is just in the mind, 8 swords. The crossing of the T's, the dotting of the I's, the need for confirmation, all this other stuff here because we fear rejection or we fear not succeeding. Queen of Wands in reverse. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So the Queen of Wands goes after what she wants, you know, but I mean, she doesn't chase or pursue something in a way that is of desperation. She just sort of pulls it towards her because of her confidence. But she is very career orientated and very fiery. And in the reverse, I just feel like there's a lack of you supporting your own passions and desires. And so you get in the way of your own manifestation of it by telling yourself all these other stories and things. And we sometimes put the mask on, convincing ourselves that we didn't want it, but we're supposed to look deeper than that and say, is it really maybe a fear of me getting it and then failing, or a fear of me trying and then not getting it and feeling like I failed? Okay, so let's ask for some guidance then for you. Pile number 2. What is pile 2 needing to hear right here, right now, in regards to their shadow self and this pattern that's coming out? Surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. And when you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. So I feel like this is, if I want something, I'm going to try my best to get it. If I don't get it, there's no harm in that. I learn from it. I move from it. You know, I feel like there's a heavy attachment here to outcome or to an image of sorts. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. And when you can own your power, and then you can own your power and soar in your life. Yes, so it's just a belief here that you have. Okay? Surrender to complete healing. Open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. So, the universe wants to help you. The universe is here to work with you, not against you. So if it does give you an opportunity, the only person who could get in the way is you. And so I feel like the universe is showing you anytime there's an opportunity here that pulls at your passion, okay, because passion is one of God's love languages of actually making change and striving for things. And so I feel like if we're being pulled by desire, by passion, it's there for a reason. Okay, so we cannot silence this. We know it's there for a reason, and then it's the universe putting it in front of us, showing this to us, connecting that to us, and then it's our job to trust the universe that it will support us, because the universe wants you to align to your greatest version. The universe doesn't want to keep you in unhappy situations. The universe wants to experience itself through you, through love and compassion. And so it's going to support everything it can to make you attain your passion and your desire. Okay, and so if you feel it's very rocky and you can't get to it, and that is all because of a mindset. That has nothing to do with the universe. The universe is going to remove all obstacles here. Okay, and so I feel like it begins with the how do we speak to ourselves. So this is what I have, pile number 2. I hope this helped you, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, my beautiful. Pile number 3, gorgeous angels. We're looking at your shadow self and what is hidden in the shadow self that might be hindering you right here, right now. So something in your subconscious that Spirit's wanting to bring to your attention. So we might not see it, obviously, because it wouldn't be in the subconscious if we did see it. So at first blush, we might say, not my pile, it doesn't resonate for me. Okay, so I want you to put on your sort of outside ears that come from not your experience and see what this messaging is and see how it might apply to your shadow self. Okay, And sometimes these messages might be challenging. I get that. So, spirits, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3 in regards to what's hidden in their subconscious, their shadow self, and what they're needing to know right here, right now. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed, so grateful to be doing your reading. So what is hindering pile number 3 the most right now in regards to their subconscious shadow self, spirit? What is becoming a hindrance to pile number 3 because of their shadow self? Magician revealing itself, Virgo and Gemini energy. And we have 6 wands, and under the 6 wands we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Okay, we have the Queen of Coins, which is Queen of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. And we have the King of Wands in reverse, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have the 3 Cups, and we have the 5 of Coins in reverse. Okay, let me sit here with this, but I do feel I want to pull 2 oracles here. We have Lady Portia, Divine Order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. And Freya, phases and cycles. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. Okay. I'm getting a lot. So I'm going to have to sort of focus here. Just give me a little bit. Okay. So pile 3, I feel you have a really beautiful heart here, because you want to please others. You really do, and you want to appear a certain way here. And I feel you are reliable, dependable, and someone here who wants to be liked by others. But I feel like it might get in the way of your own sort of ability to attain what you really want. So we might be running around trying to please other people, do things for other people, and people ask us to do a favor and we say sure, and ask you to jump, you say how high. And I feel like what we're not seeing here is that we could be our authentic self and still manifest what we want. In fact, that is how we manifest what we want. We cannot be sort of in an energy that tries to please and be liked by everyone around us at the expense of doing what we want, because we'll feel like we'll be not accepted or be out in the cold for saying no or doing something that they don't really maybe approve of, or putting ourselves before them. So I feel like your shadow self here is really needing approval. And there's a messaging coming through of if someone doesn't take your boundary or your no, then they shouldn't sort of be in your circle anyway. And that we might have experienced situations in relationships where we had to sort of not be ourselves in order to get along or in order to make things work for whatever reason. You know, it could have been a situation for a period of time where we had to sort of play nice or do someone else's sort of list of things in front of our own. But I feel like this has become in your shadow self of thinking you still need to, I don't know, be approved by others here. Like you won't be able to get what you want or manifest what you want or attain what you want if the people around you or in that situation don't agree with you or see eye to eye or don't appreciate you or envision you in a certain way that you want them to see you. So I think there's an idea to sort of expand how we see things and say either the situation will raise in vibration to my own frequency or it will fall away and I'll sort of jump into another timeline, you know, another situation completely and find myself manifesting what I want. But either way, I'm aligning myself with my authenticity. And so sometimes we can't clearly see what it is we want for ourselves or get honest completely with ourselves because we're too busy prioritizing or pleasing other people. And so I feel like there's also a message here of if you're feeling uncertain at times about what your own choice will be and you feel like, okay, well, I didn't know anyway, so I might as well just have gone with this group of people, or I just allowed them to choose for me, or I just didn't fight it because I didn't have an opinion on it or a preference on it, and then it makes sense to you. But this is the shadow self coming through in disguise, because we know the shadow self is the program, the ego program running, and it is saying, I didn't have a choice or a preference anyway, so I just gave my choice up. But it's almost stemming from the place of not wanting to make that choice or have a preference, because if we did, we might be judged. If we did have a choice and it was against what everyone else sort of in that group or in that setting wanted, then I'd be in conflict, or they would see me in a certain way, or it would go against how I might need to be. But so Spirit is showing here there's a need to then pause and really think about what it is that you want, you know, and make that decision despite what you think the others might think you need to choose. So if we are kind of not committed, because we can have it either way, Spirit is calling bullshit on that. That you do have a choice. Everyone has a preference and a choice. Okay, everyone has a preference and a choice. And I'm not saying be a stickler for what it is you want, and you're going to the movies with, 6 people and everyone wants to watch the same movie and you're like, I need to watch this other one. I mean, if that's what you want to do, you can, but you could certainly compromise. But this I'm talking about as it's revealing itself in patterns in your life and in certain things where we just, it doesn't matter what movie, whatever it is you want, and maybe, the one time we kind of do want to watch something, it's like we're already so used to giving into that group of people or to that person that then that person's like, hey, let's go watch a movie, and they're, I don't know, used to picking that movie. I'm just using analogies, okay? Then instead of saying, hey, you know what, like, I actually want to watch this one, and this person's like, oh, that's different. You don't normally pick the movie or have any sort of contribution in regards to that. And so you don't want to get lost and you don't want to get fragmented, and parts of your authenticity is tied into your preferences, your desires, your passions, your own choices, and so I feel like it might have got lost a little bit along the way here. And so I feel like there's things here that you do want to manifest for yourself, and beautiful new things that you can. And this kind of reminds me of the fairy godmother. So I feel like there's wishes here, there's hopes here of giving you what it is that you want the minute you understand that you're the master magician here that could bring whatever you want towards you by making that choice. And that I feel the fear of other people maybe not approving of you or seeing you in that way is mostly fear. Okay, mostly fear that these people aren't. But if they do, it's okay, because these people then, like I said, will either raise vibrationally to meet your level, to not see you as sort of a pushover here, to have your own opinion. They might respect you more, or they might just fall away because they just remembered you as someone who supported and propped them up in their decisions, okay? But I feel like the construct in our mind of thinking that everyone else is going to be judging and that this will be a problem, I think that's the error, because there is no one judging, okay? I mean, people judge all the time, but in actual reality, you know, when we walk into a room, when there's a bunch of people, even if the people are in mid-conversation and doing whatever, we think all eyes are on us. Everyone's paying attention to me walking in the room. When the actuality is nobody even noticed that you walked in the room, okay? And I'm not saying you are not noticeable, but, you know, in a big party, no one's staring at the door there. But we think all eyes are on us. So I feel like the same analogy. It's like, they're going to think this, and this person's going to think that, and, you know. And so this runs across all our relationships. Okay, and we're in relationship with everything and everyone. So I feel like this is rooted in relationship. Okay, friendship, partnership, intimate partners, family members, this sort of thing. So we might just lack boundaries, or we might fear what others might think of us if we sort of stand our ground. So let's take a deeper layer here and look at what Spirit wants to show about this shadow self. Spirit, can we get a deeper look at pile number 3's shadow self and what's wanting to be communicated here for pile number 3? I feel like you're learning about this, though. I do feel you're learning about this. Okay, we have phases and cycles, and we have there is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released, and do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So I feel like there is this understanding coming into your being, or maybe you're going through an experience right now where this has been the lesson. Okay, and you'll clearly see this, but sometimes it's hard to break patterns. So we're getting a deeper look at this messaging. The Tower in reverse. The Devil. All 3 piles got the Devil, which I don't find too surprising here, because we were talking about shadow self. Capricorn, Devil. Page of Cups. 2 of Pentacles. 4 Swords in reverse. And we have the King of Cups, and then we have the Ace of Swords in reverse again. Okay, and the bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Swords. Under the 9 swords, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. This is kind of like that magician, okay? Because the Queen of Wands is a master manifester as well. Now, she's in reverse here. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And the Queen of Wands in reverse is maybe someone who doesn't know her own self-worth, you know, who doesn't feel like she'd be valued here. Because the Queen of Wands is confidence, you know, going after what they want. And I feel like there's an energy here of not knowing your value, feeling a lot of anxiety here. Okay, and so the Devil shows up here as an unhealthy pattern. And so this Page of Cups, like, I feel like you want to give love, and it's coming from a very beautiful place here, you know. You want to be approved, you want to give love, and it's coming from a heart place here, but I feel like it's at the expense of your own sort of fulfillment. And so this, again, with the 4 of Swords in reverse, it's like a need to sort of slow down. If we don't know what it is that we truly want, or is touching us as a decision, as a option, as a sort of a choice, we're being asked to slow down and to consider our options and say, what do I really want? You know, never mind what this person might say or what might happen here if I fear they won't like me anymore or will see me in a different light. Just take a look at your options and slow down and stop to consider what they are so that you can tap into them from a heart space. Okay, and then once you know and you're confident in what it is that you want, then you know that it is an authentic sort of place that you're coming from, and you can only ever speak the truth and act in your truth. And so if you don't connect to what you want. And this is like, communicating with her emotional navigation system. How does it make me feel? How does it make me feel? Like, yes, I might feel good about being liked and getting along with other people, and that makes me feel kind of more superficial like in the moment. But let's say I'm doing something I really don't really want to, or I kind of am doing something here, but I gotta, like keep it up in some way because it's my perception, or it's the perception of me that I'm trying to upkeep. And so I'm tired and I really don't want that. And, I'd rather just keep everyone sort of happy. But Spirit is saying, look at the actual thing that you're doing and ask yourself, does it make me feel, if these people weren't here, this person, would this be something I would like to do or see in myself or just go out of my way to do? And if it touches deeply in my feelings here and I can really relate with it, then great. But if I can't, then we're not seeing ourselves clearly enough here in order to make the decision to act. So I feel like we probably act without doing this process, without considering, without tapping into our navigational system and saying, how do I feel self about this? And actually stopping here, okay? And I think we're trying to prevent this, okay? So in the subconscious, and this could be, we've experienced trauma. Just give me a sec. Sorry, someone at the door. So I experienced trauma here when I at one point, and this got buried away in our subconscious, I said no, or I chose what I wanted, and someone flew off the handle, or the reaction that I got from whoever was not good. So I'm preventing this from happening again because I've been traumatized, by, I don't know, maybe a group of people didn't like me after this, or I was ostracized after I said what I wanted, or I put a boundary and then I got shut out, or whatever happened, it made me feel out of control. And so now I want to remain liked. I want to be the peacekeeper. I want to keep order and make it so that no one hates me. Okay, so this is what's coming through here. Now, let's take a look at your guidance and see what Spirit is wanting to give to you as advice here then. For pile number 3, Spirit, what is the guidance and advice for pile 3? What is the guidance? Surrender to miracles. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. So I feel like this is us sort of really tapping into, if I stay really true to how I'm feeling, I trust that what is meant for me is going to accept me and be there for me, and people are going to show compassion, and that with these miracles and these manifestations we were seeing, Queen of Wands and the Magician, it's like bringing towards me what I actually want here, that I don't have to, I don't know, live someone else's story here. And so when we use the law of attraction to sort of manifest towards us by staying authentic to our emotions, we bring in miracles towards us, okay? Surrender your belief in scarcity. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. Surrender stubbornness. If you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you to communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. So, I feel like this is coming through quite interesting. I feel like beyond maybe your need for approval in some way, I feel like maybe you feel like there is less acceptance out there in the world, that if this group of friends or if this relationship don't like me, then there's no other relationship I could be in because I'm so on my own with my own desires and thoughts of what I want. Like, let's say if all you really liked was, I don't know, walking around in the wintertime, let's just say, like that was a hobby of yours and you wanted to live in Alaska or the North Pole, and a lot of people like hot weather, and so this is like something you'd want for yourself, okay? And you felt very passionate about it, but you're like, well, I'm never going to meet a mate you know, so I might as well just live in Hawaii where a lot of people are, and that's where I'm probably most likely going to find love. And so this is scarcity, not thinking, hey, there must be a lot of other people out there that love living in Alaska, want to wander in the winter wonderland as well. Like scarcity mindset here. So I feel like there's a scarcity about, will I ever, you know, find the same sort of acceptance if I say no to this? Or will I be shut out and then never again to be accepted? So I might as well keep at this thing, even though I don't want to. And so I feel like the stubbornness here is your inability to understand that you don't have to have an energy here of completely being rigid in, you know, like people pleasing. Okay, this is like, this will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. So I feel like the yourself is coming through here as, don't be so stuck to a way of being here that you're not communicating to yourself. Communication to yourself first about what you want, what you're feeling, what is the best thing for you. I feel like the stubbornness comes in. Yeah, well, the best thing I can do is be, you know, make other people happy. Or if it don't really matter so much to me, I'm just going to continue to sort of do whatever it is here that I've been doing to please others and put myself on the back burner here, because I feel like the stubbornness is us repeating and staying stuck in an energy here that's not saying, you know what, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop and I'm going to take this pause and I'm really going to sit with myself and I'm really going to ask myself, like, am I doing this because of the initial sort of immediate acceptance I'm going to get, or am I doing this because I really want to, whatever, do this outcome with this person, or do this thing that I'm doing right here, right now? You know, what's the underlying reason for this? And see how your stubbornness might be getting in the way of your own self achieving this stop and think and connect with your emotions. I'm going to pull one more with this stubbornness to see what else is coming through. I feel like there might be a layered message here. For pile 3, what's with this surrender stubbornness? The King of Wands in reverse. So we saw Queen of Wands and King of Wands in reverse. So I feel like it is in partnership, and it could certainly be in relationship, you know, like our actual partner. Because I feel like there's this inability for us to sit with our emotions and say, I'm actually going to go after what it is that I want, you know, and come sort of hell or high water in this instance, whether you feel like the people are going to like you or be against you, you'll know that there's no scarcity, that the abundance is everywhere in the world, that if this situation wasn't to go smooth, that eventually things would fall away here, and eventually you'd align yourself with things that do vibe with your highest sort of emotions and feelings. And as we continue to support things that do not, then we're not living in authenticity, and we're kind of propping up others, and we continuously stay in this 9 swords, you know, how can I look better? How can I be approved? How can I, and that sort of thing. But I feel like this could certainly be with people we really sort of connect with, you know, because we don't want to let them down. You know, people who might have a hard time taking no for an answer, or people who seem like they're very confident and they kind of do their own thing. And so I feel like maybe I'm steamrolled in a way, or I need to support them because I'm less than them, or I'm not as valued as them, or I'm not as confident as them, or I don't have as much established, or I'm not so much as loud as them, or as passionate as them, or whatever the thing is that we're comparing here, I feel. Okay, so only you know what your story sort of is here, but I feel like Spirit is saying something is changing here, and I feel like this is coming into your awareness. So this is what I have, pile number 3. I hope this resonated for you, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.